So I thought it would be good to start with the Buddha, and I guess this is Manjusvara's reimagining of the Buddha, his ghazal. Even if we can't see it, we bow down in our own perfection. The world is this mirror, our constant retelling of the image before us. Time only serves the lament of the world. There can be no shadow without the lust for shadow. Fire placed on the highest ground, a golden thread of sympathy connecting us through all darkness. Surely this is reason enough to smile. Trust in the goal. Let things happen as they should. And the other poem I wanted to read is one which Manjusvara actually wrote here at the convention back in 2005. And he wrote it for Bhante. It's called The Translator. And I'll read it twice. Manjusvara would often read his poems twice, so I will read this one twice. A long walk has brought you here, step by step, rescuing the past, and all the truth compassion requires. Knowing some of us are listening, learning the way by which you came. A long walk has brought you here, step by step, rescuing the past, and all the truth compassion requires. Knowing some of us are listening, learning the way by which you came.
Good eye. Place was very important for Manjusvara. He did write a few poems in Australia when we had our tours. But I haven't got those with me. I'm going to read a couple. This one was written in Stockholm in 2008. It's called A Poem About Poems. You sometimes find poems on buses, lurking at the back, the fare paid in hard currency. You often find poems on trains, using season tickets, gazing out of the window, never mistaking summer for autumn. Poems rarely fly. They don't like the altitude and get lost in translation. Silver underground poems, humming their tunes, tending to work the same lines. I can't imagine poems on bikes, but I catch them walking in the woods, talking softly to themselves. My favourite are the taxi poems, unpredictable, taking you where you need to go, but not by the expected route. This one was written at Rivendell in 2006, and it's a short one, so I also will read this twice. Wake-up call. The birds are flying around, singing their usual song. Why didn't I think before to listen more carefully? Wake-up call. The birds are flying around, singing their usual song. Why didn't I think before to listen more carefully?
Touching on my history. There's a room in my house where an eagle flies. I hear its wings beating against the walls. It has the smell of blood on its breath that seeps under the doorway. I go months, even years, trying not to think about that room. But the eagle never forgets. It has set me in its perfect vision. It knows one day we will meet, and whether I am ready or not, it will be ready. It will be there, waiting to take me. And I selected this poem. It was actually a poem that Manjusvara wrote for Gunaruchi. Gunaruchi was a much-loved order member as well, who died quite a few years ago. And I just thought that the sentiment in it, we could resonate in terms of thinking about Manjusvara. Where the light ends, for Gunaruchi, and today for Manjusvara. Probably the last time I saw you was in my car, driving you to Temple Meads for the late train back to Bath. As you described your work with the born deaf and blind, I tried to imagine what sort of life is entered where the light ends, that must see with different eyes and touch the absence of your own voice. And now you have gone. When I could so easily have stayed and helped ease the time in the cold station. But fighting tiredness, you urged me home, back to signs of warmth, and years later these thoughts. You have my allegiance. May it cross the limitations, the boundaries, and hopefully the found freedom. And Bhante and others might like to know that a collection of Manjusvara's poetry will be coming out next year, a memorial collection with an audio CD, so keep your ears and eyes open for that.